beautiful collectors and Transformer fans. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the incredible support of my patrons, Optibotimus Plus channel members, and even those that just hit that thumbs up button, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Kingdom Voyager class Optimus Primal. For the package, much like these Kingdom figures that we've been looking at so far, the package is primarily made up of just art. You can see you got a really cool image of Primal right there in his robot mode. Of course, you got his beast mode there in the front. And it's stylized. What's really nice is you can see the actual hair of him in his beast mode, and then that translates over into the robot mode as well. That's really very, very cool. Of course, you got the Transformers text here along the side, the Generation logo. Then you have a fairly small window that does allow you to see the figure, but only from about the waist up. Take a look at the top. You got a nice Maximo logo right there. One thing that I'm confused about, I keep seeing this art all over the place where it's like the Beast Wars eye, and part of it, where like the middle portion of the eye is made up of like the smoke from the arc crashing down. I don't know where that's coming from because I don't see that on any of these. Maybe they're on the leader figures. I do have Megatron on the way, so maybe I'll find it there, but who knows. The side here, you got an absolute gorgeous artistic image with Unicron, Galvatron, whole bunch of Maximals and Predacons all running around with none other than the golden disc at the center. Come around to the back of the package, you can see that he transforms in 22 steps, and you got images of him again in his very grumpy looking gorilla mode and of course his robot mode. But for the packaging on Primal here, that is about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Optimus Primal open up out of its packaging and obviously in his gorilla mode. Now starting off first, much like all of these Kingdom figures, he does come with the collector card. I got Dinobot with this. Now I don't know if there's going to be different cards with other people's figures. Like you may get Dinobot, you may get somebody else. I don't know. Not enough people have started getting these figures yet to kind of determine that, but here is Dinobot. You got that nice kind of holographic foil thing, and then you do have this sticker that you can peel away, and you got a bunch of other characters on there, like you can see Air Razor. Oh, that's almost coming off. There's Scorponok, there is Black Arachnia, Dinobot in his beast mode there, and then you just, let's see, put that back on something like that, and then on the back you do have the golden disc. So there is that. Now for Primal, accessory wise, he comes with a couple different things. He does come with his swords, which are fairly common with an Optimus Primal figure. These are really nice. You got this blue plastic, but the blades are done in a nice silver paint. If you wanted to store these, you can. You got these little slots here on the side. You can just plug these in there. You can kind of keep it going that way if you want, or it's a little bit easier to kind of have it go like that. I don't know. I feel like this kind of flows with his body a little bit more. It's personal preference. You can do whatever you want, but you got those little tabs on both sides that you can store his swords if you want to. I mean, otherwise it looks kind of strange because they just look like they're swords that are popping out of the side of them, but you do have that. These are the only accessories that he has that are separate from his body. He's got a couple other gimmicks, and I'll show those off, but those are really nice. If you remember, I talked about Paleotrex in my previous video. In the original vintage toy for this, well, vintage, I mean, God, that makes me sound old. But you can remove this, and this literally looks like the mace weapon that vintage toy had. So you can give him this as well. Just kind of slides in there. So he can hold that really nicely. That's a cool additional sort of thing. So if you have Paleotrex, you can use that as a weapon. I think that's a nice added bonus. Like I said when I did that review, I wasn't really expecting that. But Primal here looks really very nice. Now, a lot of times I talk about robot stuff. Let's do some comparisons. Here is Cheetor. Here is Rat Trap. These are the Maximals that we've gotten so far. Size-wise here, I think that this is looking terrific together. He's sniffing his butt. But I think that this entire setup is really very, very nice. But as I talked about, there are like little robot parts that kind of, like you can see his hands there. You got some stuff here. His was fairly clean. You got the little feet hanging out there. guess you could kind of say like you had the hands down there. Primal does have that as well. Like, for example, this section, I can't really get that. You can bring that down and kind of fit that along there. The problem, though, is then it kind of pushes that side out. I wish this little back piece was just a hair longer and came down a little bit more to cover that up, because there's no real way to mitigate that. That's unfortunate. It's not all that terrible, honestly. And for the most part, again, he cleans up fairly, very nicely. He's got the little back feet thing here, but there's not really much you could do about that. It's no worse than these little bits hanging off or him having hands on his butt. I guess you could kind of say that up here is a little bit broken, but in general, he still looks really very good. I don't know. Maybe you can, I wonder if you can get him to sit on his back. You can do something like that, I guess. I mean, that's kind of fun. So, all the Beast Wars figures have that. His, though, isn't terribly bad. I think that his turned out pretty decent as well. It's definitely not masterpiece level, but that masterpiece one was one absolutely, I mean, it was probably, in my opinion, one of the best Beast Wars masterpiece figures that we got. And this is a perfectly good, suitable stand-in, in my opinion. I love the textural detail that they got sculpted throughout there. Like I showed you on the package, they really emphasize the hair and stuff, giving him a very real look. He's got that as well. Throughout the entire body, you have the fur sections of his gorilla mode, all very nicely sculpted in. Pretty much all done here in a black plastic. You do have some gray elements. I love them. The face doesn't look nearly as grumpy, although that is kind of a grumpy looking face. I think that's really cool. But again, the texture on this guy really is very, very, very nice. But you do have some gray elements in there with like the chest, his face, kind of reddish almost looking eyes. It's hard to tell, but really nice gloss to those eyes. The hands, you can see, have a little bit of gray. You can open up the fingers and get a little bit more of a knuckle sort of pose form. I mean, that's kind of a common look for gorillas. They would kind of prop themselves up on their knuckles, so that's cool that you can do that. Now, as I talked about, he does have some extra features. This piece here, and it's kind of hard to get away. You can pull this away, and you're partially transforming them at this point. But you got these little pieces that can fold out. If you really wanted to, in beast mode, you can display these out as well. I don't really know why you would want to do that, but that's a feature that you can do as well. I mean, you can angle them up just like that and kind of have them still hunched over and these kind of pointing forward. So, I mean, that's something that you can do, but again, he never really did that. Not that I can really remember, to be honest. So, I just leave those kind of tucked away. They come more in handy when you're doing the whole robot thing. So, first beast mode, that's pretty much it. Articulation-wise, they did some really cool stuff here. You can get his head tilting like that, but you can also get it looking left and right. That's a nice additional touch. So you can really get him looking almost any way that you really want to. You do have a bit of a butterfly joint here at the shoulders. You also have the swivel hinge. You can go in and out, all that kind of stuff. Does rotate, but when you do it, then you start seeing some more of that robot stuff. So generally, I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. You do have an elbow hinge. These back legs, you can move those around, but you really don't want to. And then you can move them here at the knee. For the most part, the ankles, you can kind of tilt those in and out. They can rotate up at this top section, which is really all that seems to have a use for up there. I mean, just to give some extra outward rotation for it. But all in all, really happy with how he turned out. Really very, very cool. Now, for his transformation, it's actually fairly simple to do. One thing that I do want to talk about is, I don't know why they even bother doing this, but they show it in the instructions. But they show you to bring this down and bring this down, and you can have him stand upright. I literally don't know why that's an actual thing in the instructions. why they have you do that, I don't know. I don't know why that's really a thing, but it's a thing. So now that you got the legs kind of straightened out, you're going to want to lift this piece. This piece tabs in very securely. Pull that. Come on. There we go. Pull that out just like that. And then take this back flap here. Pull this away. You got a double hinge. Bring this up, and then you can rotate that around and just kind of hinge this around. You're going to tab that in, but just sort of leave it right there. Now you can see the most of the detail for the robot mode legs. Once you detach that, you can rotate him there. Come down here to the feet. Fold these bits down. I love how these are actually on pistons as well. That's really cool. These back legs, or these back toes, can't fold up, which is kind of unfortunate. They can fold down. I don't know why they didn't make it so you could fold them up, just to kind of hide them a little bit more. But they're there. Make sure that those get all the way down, just like that. And then kind of rotate these. Position those. Then you saw me doing this a couple times. Just pull this back assembly away, just like so. Take the head. You want to rotate the beast head and kind of bring that down. And then rotate this entire section around so that the beast head is going to be facing inward. Now, like I said, if you want to, you can bring these out. I'll bring them out for now. The thing that kind of sucks is it's really difficult to kind of deploy them any other way. So once you have that, then collapse this piece back down. Bring this whole section back and in. Oh, sorry, wait. Rotate this piece around, sorry. Then bring that whole section in, I feel like. There we go. Angle these however you want. Take these bits, pull these up. That will lock into place. Right up there. This piece here, you're going to bring up, you got a little tab and slot section right here that you're going to fold that along his back. Now, the instructions actually tell you to lift this piece up and put that there. You could, if you want to, or just leave it down there. Don't push it all the way down and lock it, but just leave it like that. I think it looks perfectly fine. Rotate these. Rotate his wrists. Rotate his wrists. Fold his hands in. Get that in there. That's really tight. But when you're done, there you have Optimus Primal in his really impressive and accurate, honestly, looking robot mode. And I know most people are still going to say that the Masterpiece one is the best one that we've ever gotten. And I am not going to argue with that. It definitely is. But for a ridiculous fraction of the price, you get the most accurate representation of Optimus Primal that we've ever gotten in mass release. This guy is fantastic and really cleans up very, very well. Now, in terms of some of the other kind of features that he has, you can see that you have a little bit of a line right here. What you do is you come around to the inside here, you push this, and pushing it up reveals his little forearm missiles. It's a little bit tough to do it, but hey, you use one of these. Push that up, and you have his forearm missiles. So you can do that on both sides. And what's nice is they also are articulated. So you can fold that up, kind of rotate that around, and you can angle that up. So the missiles are like, or the blasts are going to be shooting upward. I really like that. That's a nice additional little touch. I mean, they could have just had it go like that, and that would have been fine. I mean, the blast would clear his little hair area, but I like the fact that you can slightly angle that up. That's a really nice touch. And then to collapse it, you just kind of straighten it up and then push it right back down. That's a really cool little added feature to that. That really, again, brings in a lot of those extra bits that he had from the show. Joints are really super tight on this. As I showed, you can have his little shoulder cannons deployed in this mode, and then you can articulate those around. I would probably say, you know, the most annoying part is the fact that you do have to kind of pull that all the way to tuck those in. I wish that was a little bit easier to do, but, you know, it is what it is. People have complained about the gapping here, and yeah, it's not as kind of flush as I would like, but it's a minor sort of thing. I think that they could have fixed it a little bit, but honestly, in doing that, you would have had to put more stuff in there. So I think that the minimalist sort of approach to this works. I'm quite okay with that. Yes, somebody's going to leave a comment that this looks like Sid from Ice Age. And, you know, if you didn't see it before, now you probably will. Whatever. You can still store his swords here in robot mode. They just peg into those same pegs that he had previously. And again, still looks good. The Masterpiece one, and even the original vintage toy, you know, it hid into his big giant backpack, but it did have a big giant backpack. So I'm okay with just kind of plugging them in there. But so freaking awesome. Really, really is. For some size comparisons, let's bring in the rest of the Maximals. And here we have Cheetor. Here we have Rat Trap. Again, scale-wise, I think is brilliant. I think that it works perfectly. I guess for another beast, here is Paleotrex. So there's that. As I mentioned, Megatron is on the way. If you want to see the review of that early, make sure that you become an Optibotimus Plus channel member, and you'll get to check that out early when that goes up. As for the detail, though, as you can see, just spectacular. Again, you have that nice texture for the fur. That head sculpt is amazing. Great detail. You have the split mouth guard so that you can see the lips right there. Nice silver paint for the ears. Just absolutely wonderful. Articulation wise, the head is on a ball joint. You get a little bit of up and down and left and right, not really side to side or anything. You still have that butterfly joint that can allow you to flex his pecs if you want to. Rotation, you got a hinge going out. Really super tight on that. Almost scary tight how tight that is, but I'm okay with it. You do have a bend here at the elbow. Do like how they have this section right here. I do wish that they kind of made this a little bit longer, but I guess they really couldn't do too much with that because you had that piece in there. So I guess you can't have a full kind of gap there, but at least when you do it like that, it kind of fills in some of that gappage. He does rotate at the waist. He does have a forward and back joint here at the hips. In and out only. Oh, no, that actually goes... I mean, that kind of like forces it in there, but you can get it spreading out pretty decently. He does have a slight rotation at the upper part, which, again, you use to kind of help get those little white pieces a little bit more on the inside when you bring this piece over it. So make sure that you kind of rotate those around. We'll go over that with the transformation. Now, his knees here are kind of weird. Again, really, really tight joints right here. It locks in. There's a little tab. I don't honestly know why there's a double joint there, other than the ability to straighten that out. I mean, honestly, I don't see why you need to have two joints there. Maybe it's just meant for, extra articulation. But really, like, leaving it like that and keeping it tabbed in, you get everything that you need to do, like with the transformation and stuff. So I don't know why they put in a double joint, which doesn't look good. It's kind of ugly at that point, but it is what it is, I guess. As I mentioned, you do have a slight rotation here at his calf. I just feel like that's done to kind of give him a little bit more of a spread leg sort of look. So it's not as straight up and down and robotic. You do have ankle tilt a little bit, not a ton, and then you can, you can't even rotate that. That's all locked into place. You can rotate it when it's all the way up, I thought. Oh no, it's all right there. So yeah, there's no real rotation or anything. Again, I don't know why you can bend these toes down. I feel like you should be able to bend those up to fit along the back just to kind of hide those monkey toes a little bit better. I wish they would have done that, but I mean, literally there's like no reason for you to do that. So that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. So really solid articulation, pretty much all the poses or articulate. Oh, I forgot. He does have the articulated fingers, and again, you can have him hold his sword perfectly fine. You just kind of wedge it in the little back area there. So you do have the fingers there, and then also rotates at the wrist. So All the articulation that you could possibly think of is there. Voyager class figure, a little bit small of a Voyager class figure. You'll see that as kind of things progress. Because, I mean, honestly, the Beast Wars characters were small. So it's accurate, I think. Now, first transformation back, we're going to take these and fold those down, just like so. And you can rotate his fists around just like that. Come around here to the back section, kind of grab hold that, pull that around, can rotate that around like so. Like I said, you got that double hinge. Pull this section back, come around here, pull this up, and then rotate that. Pull the beast head out, and then rotate the beast head around, then collapse that down, and then bring that entire section down. Rotate that around like that, and then bring this back in. Collapse that down. Kind of straighten these out like so. These beast legs, you're going to rotate around, push this all the way down. Did I have that in there? No. Push that all the way in, and it will lock into place. And maybe I won't even do that just so that you don't have to worry about it. But do that. Then hinge these back like that. Do that on both sides like that. Again, you want to make sure that these are rotated kind of in like so, and then fold this down, and this has a very normal look to it. Like you'll know exactly how it needs to be positioned, and then just kind of put these legs up along the back side like that. Straighten out that, fold this piece up. Pull this piece up. Again, you can kind of rotate these out just to give them a little bit of extra flair. But when you're done, there you have Optimus Primal back in his beast mode. Overall, though, again, super awesome representation of a very iconic character. Is the Kingdom figure the best version of Optimus Primal that we've gotten? No. The Masterpiece one, in my opinion, still takes that cake. But as I said, it is the best mass release one that we've ever gotten. That's not to say that this one is perfect. I do wish that this could have been hidden a little bit easier. I mean, you do have like area here where you could have made this a little bit bigger and covered that. I don't know why you can bend the toes down this way, but you can't bend them the other way. I don't particularly like how you have to completely detach all of this to make these fold out, but all in all, this is still a terrific, terrific release. I have said it time and time again that Beast Wars is my favorite Transformers series of all time. The toys, though, always just didn't work for me. Just too much robot stuff was always hanging off in their beast modes. And I like displaying my Beast Wars figures in their beast mode. Which is weird because all of my G1 figures I display in the robot mode. But, you know, hey, whatever. But this guy is truly a wonderful figure. And I cannot recommend him enough to you guys. So, all of that being said, if this version of Optimus Primal is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon. For that, I'll put links right down in the video description where you can go there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. If you've enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you do one very simple thing for me. We are all a slave here on YouTube to the algorithm. To make it go away, all you have to do is hit that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. If you could do a little bit more, I would encourage you to become either a patron or a channel member, who through their continued support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron like these guys have done, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. Or if you want to keep all of your perks and rewards like custom emojis, loyalty badges, exclusive member live streams and Zoom calls, as well as the occasional giveaway, consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus like these guys have done. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.